In this video, I'm going to share a technique on how to resolve the elongated stitches that happen after a lateral braid. So in this fabric example here, you can see that the V's of the stitches directly above the lateral braid are much longer than a typical knit stitch. And in some cases, it can be really lovely to use this technique to your advantage. Here, it creates an almost lacy effect in the fabric here between all of these lateral braids. They're just those elongated stitches that look and feel a little bit more open. But sometimes you want a completely solid fabric that matches back to your stockinette fabric, such as in this sock here. So instead of having those elongated stitches in between the rows, it's just plain stockinette. So it transitions very smoothly from the lateral braid into the stockinette background. So there's no disruption or variance between the row that happens directly after the lateral braid and the rest of the stockinette sock. So it looks very, very consistent here. I'm going to start by showing you this example on a contrast color lateral braid here, just because it's going to be easier to see exactly which part of the stitch you're supposed to be grabbing. If you're working in the round and you've just worked a join adjustment for your lateral braid, it might be a little bit challenging to do this technique on the first stitch of the row, so we're just going to go ahead and knit that stitch as normal, just because it is a little bit hard to do. And then we're going to start this technique on the second stitch. So effectively what we're going to want to do is grab up this same yarn here, but between the stitches, so kind of the ladder between stitches. You can see here that I have this yarn, and when I pull it, it snugs up the next stitch on the needle. So that's the part of the stitch that you're going to want to grab, and I'll grab it here again. So it's the same yarn that is creating this stitch on the needle just before you get to the stitch. So it's this ladder between the stitches and it snugs it up. And you just want to lift that over onto your left hand needle and then knit those two stitches together as if they were one stitch. So again, we're just grabbing the yarn that is creating the stitch on the needle, but the ladder between the stitches, pulling it up onto the left hand needle. So we now have two stitches and then knitting those two stitches together. And what you're doing by grabbing this extra yarn here and placing it up is you're using the excess length that normally creates the elongated stitch and placing it up onto the needle, knitting it two together. So you're eliminating that excess yarn length that normally creates the elongated stitch. And then you just continue going around in that same method. Now let's imagine we were working flat and needed to work this technique on a wrong side row. The overall concept is the same, but because you're going to be working on the wrong side, you'll need to be purling stitches together versus knitting stitches together to make sure you maintain your stockinette fabric. So I'll go ahead and turn my work to the wrong side here. And again, it can be a challenge to work this technique on the first stitch. So just go ahead and purl the first stitch just so that it's not a huge challenge to execute this technique. On the wrong side, it's actually a little bit easier to see what you're supposed to be doing. So you have your yarn on the needle here. You can see the purl bump below the needle. And then you're just grabbing the yarn that kind of happens right next to that purl bump and placing it up onto the needle and then purling those two stitches together. So overall, the technique is the same. You're just purling together instead of knitting together, and you're still grabbing the exact same place of the yarn. You're using that excess elongation to create your extra stitch and then work those two stitches together into one to snug everything up and make it nice and smooth. And we'll go ahead and demonstrate it on the solid color as well, just to show what that will look like. So again, we'll be purling that first stitch of the row because it can be a little challenging to work on the first stitch. And then we'll be looking for our stitch here, the purl bump below, and the yarn that's kind of threading through that purl bump. That's the exact spot where we want to place our needle to pull it up, and then purling those two stitches together as one stitch. I will say this can be a little bit more challenging to get your needle through both of these stitches. So when you're working here on the purl side, a lot of your slack in the yarn can kind of be in this first stitch, and it really tightens up the second stitch on the needle. So you may kind of need to place your needle in one stitch at a time. So do your first stitch, and then it can be a little bit of a struggle to get through that second stitch. But just make sure that you've gotten through both stitches before you execute your purl. So if you're having trouble doing a purl two together with a standard stitch mount where you have your right hand leg of the stitch in front, You can try doing an opposite mount where you have the left hand leg of the stitch in front, and then just kind of go through both of those stitch legs here, do your purl two together. I will say that you may have slightly more elongation on stitches worked in this method with that reverse mount, but it is a significantly easier technique to execute with that reverse stitch mount there. You just have a lot more access to that space where you need to place your needles to then be able to purl your stitches together, versus when you keep everything in the standard mount here, there's just a lot more challenge to be able to get that needle through the second stitch. So if you're struggling, I definitely recommend trying it with the opposite mount. It will make your life a whole lot easier when working a wrong side resolution row to make sure you don't have those elongated stitches after your lateral braid.